Hey, Inflewence here. Today I got the Turtles Leonardo MechaTran series, the HeatBoys mech turtle that turns into the turtle van. So if you know these series, it was the HeatBoys. They had mech. I think they got Leonardo and Michelangelo right now. That's just the mech that don't transform. And those figures I've heard are wonderful. I think this is a miss. It has some good stuff, but it's a miss because of the transformation. Not just the transformation, but because they had to put the transformation into it. So there's some loose parts. Knees are loose a little. It's hard for him to stand up because, as you can see, most of the van is on his back. It's the shell. I mean, he is a turtle, so he does have a big shell. So it doesn't look that off-putting. It is panel-y. And let's just get into it.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
There's a lot here, so chapters in the description. First off, what you get bang for your buck, I think is great. I think the price I thought was too high, but when I got it out the box and saw all of this, we'll get to the stand and stuff in a minute. But when I saw everything, including the figure, like the figure itself is, I can feel its worth. Let's put it that way. There are a few panels that are loose and flimsy. There's some flimsy pieces. You got to be careful when you transform this because there are some strong ratchets hooked on to flimsy joints, so that's never good when you're trying to move ratchets around. And just some stiff joints, period. And then there's some really loose joints like his knees that shouldn't be loose, and I don't understand why. Again, I think it's the transformation element that hinders this figure, and I probably should have just got the regular one, but I do like Transformers. That's the thing. What else is his eyes? His eyes super dead because they do light up. So bringing him a little closer, you can see his face close up. I thought his mouth would open, but it doesn't, which is fine. It is a mech. It's supposed to be a machine, as you see. Leonardo driving it, holds the controls well. You can encase him in there because it's a mech. It's a mech suit that turns into the van, which is great. I really don't know why they didn't do, I guess because Leonardo's maybe one of the more popular turtles, but Donatello seems like he would be the one to build this. So I wonder why they didn't do Donatello, but maybe because they don't have Donatello done. They probably did this figure and then figured out how to make it transform, since they already have a mech of this figure. So, but again, they all look alike, so it wouldn't have been that much of an issue. Please excuse me, I'm a little not really under the weather, but I'm having some issues. So I don't know if it's just my allergies or what. So I'm gonna still try to be enthused as I am. However, I may sound like trash. But again, the eyes are dead unless you put the batteries in. I don't have batteries, unfortunately. I'm sorry. There's a button on the back that you push to turn the lights on. I would like to see what it looks like, even if I don't keep it in there. There's 2 screws in the back that you have to unscrew to take out. So let's just get into accessories, and let's get Leonardo out of here so we can get into accessories. You can see, before I go over accessories, you can see they do peg in his hand. He holds them well, and they also can store, and also the swords can sheath on his back, which is really nice, and I will show that. So you just stick this in there. You might have to switch it around. It goes in better one way or the other, and this must be the way it goes in better. It is a little tight. It does scare me a little bit, but I haven't had any issues. There are other places that are probably more issue prone. And as you can see, I'm having trouble getting it out of his hand, so it stays in his hand really well. That one went in great. So you see, he does store them on his back. He has these guns. I think one fell off. Yes, it did. And of course, Leonardo the little figure. So let's get him out of here so we can go over all the accessories. So right here, I mean, nothing to write home about. He has sheaths on the back as well, so his swords can fit in the back. I think that's a great touch. They did make this little figure, but it's great. It's a great little figure. It's not bad. So you can see his head can spin all the way around. Has some articulation. Arms are just on a little ball joint so they can get up and down. He has no elbow, and his hands are just fixed. He can go out a little bit. He can kick out, and his shell gets in the way of back. And like I said, out to the side ain't that great. And he get 90 degrees on the elbow, no feet rocker, and he's fine. And he can hold his swords, and it's rather nice looking. I do like this figure for what it is. It's cool. It's a cool little Leonardo. So there you go with Leo. Then you get two of these. I'm only going to show one. Really nice. I do like the swords. Got the little goldish, rose goldish hilt, or I don't know what that's called. In silver paint. Like I said, you get two of those. You get two of these guns. You got a gun with a bayonet on it, I guess. Like, that's a big bayonet. I thought it looked like this could move down, and there's a hole right here. Maybe you can put some, I don't know, blast effects. This right here looks kind of like a magazine for the gun, but it doubles. You move it up and it plugs into the side of pieces. There's also these pegs right here. I don't know, it just plugs into his hand through this, just like everything else. Like I said, you can put this down. Kind of looks like a magazine, a revolver, maybe barrel thing. I forget what that's called. You have the box, him on the front side, just some more shots, and the back has a bunch of product shots so you can see what's going on there. Got the van and turtle back and forth and all the other stuff that you can do with it. Big box. And you have this thing right here. It's a stand doubling as everything else. So it's basically, this is the configuration I have it in. I like it the best because I'm not going to use it as a full stand. At least I don't think so. But you got the catwalk up here, so you can have Leo up here working on some stuff. I just put these things. These are extras. I think they hold the bot if you want to have it on the stand in a pose. But they kind of look like computer desks. So I just stuck them up there so he could be fooling with them. Then you bring the figure in here. So you drop the figure in, and then you have Leo up here controlling whatever, maybe on the catwalk, if he ever stands up. And then you have these arms that move that are on crazy tight ratchets, and it don't really sound like they're the greatest as far as quality. I'm not sure what that's about. Like, this plastic doesn't feel great on this stand, but it is just a stand, so that's really high. But like I said, I'm not going to show all the other configurations, but just know all this stuff comes off. All of this comes off the catwalk. All of this comes off. This back piece can come out and lay down, so you can have a big long stand. You can use it as a garage for the vehicle. Like, all this comes off. I just noticed these little things on the side where he can add those stars at. So that's cool. He can keep them on. He can have all his weapons on. You can drop these over here. You can drop these over here. And now his weapons are stored, and the mech could be here getting worked on by Leo. And I think that's pretty dope. too. Like I said, this is a lot for, I can see the price. This is big. This is a big stand. I ain't really doing comparisons, but this is Fans Toys aerial bot, just so you can see how big the stand is and how big this bot is. I guess I'm doing comparisons now. It's about the same size as Fans Toys aerial bot. Just about. I mean, and this is Silverbolt, not any of the aerobot. The other aerobots are smaller. So his headband has wires in it, so you can move it whichever way. You know how those wires are though, they're kind of fickle. So if you keep moving it around, it may break. But there's two, there's one at the bottom and one at the top. So you can get like kind of independent pose, kind of looking like it's blowing in the wind. Only thing I don't like is when you transform it, there's no real place for this to go. I guess you can just flip it around so it's not all jacked up, but it does get jacked up. Again, his chest opens. He has light up eyes, all that good stuff. Let's just go over articulation now, since basically I already did comparisons. So articulation, his head goes down a whole lot, goes up not a whole lot, which is cool because he's a big bot. He's supposed to be a mech. He's looking down on the turtles. You see how big he's supposed to be compared to the Leo. So he's super big. Arm, this thing can, the shoulder pad can get out the way, and you can make the arm go all the way around. It does hit some of the stuff in the back, and the shoulder pad moves like this independently as well, so you can get that. This joint right here is super flimsy, and the ratchet for the arms are tight, so hold it down at here when you're moving it. I think that's some of what happened. I know the foot, ankle, some people broke too, I saw. So you can get his arm up that much. He has a bicep swivel right here. He has a double jointed elbow, but it only gets you 90, but you can kind of, can you get more? Let me see. No, that's wrong. So you can't get more, get up about that much. Knees are, I hate the knees, we'll get to it, but he just wants to fall over because he's so back heavy. The knees just don't support it. Bicep swivel, I already said that. Has hands that go up like that, they go back all the way like that and spin around. Individual articulated fingers. His thumb is on like a hinge that just moves up and down, which is kind of a weird choice to me, but it's all right because it works with the guns and stuff. And it has a knuckle, a thumb knuckle. Other two fingers are individually, wait, are they? Yeah, they are, because I remember doing the gun. One thing that's cool about the gun is it has a little thumb space right here, and a trigger, like the trigger is perfectly aligned, so it's kind of cool. Like you can move this thumb up, put the gun in here, you can move this down and then put the thumb, and the thumb lines up right there, and then the trigger finger is right on the trigger. Then this one can go, it lines up right below the peg so it can hold it. And I do like that, like little stuff makes me happy. I just like it holds it really securely, and it still looks like a real, like he's holding something real. Hands on a mushroom peg, it does seem like it's slipping out. It is. I just pushed it back in both sides, but it never fell off yet. I say yet. So waist, he has 0 waist, 0 ab crunch, 0 movement. And I think that's because of transformation. So they definitely sacrificed some stuff for transformation. Well, I don't know if they sacrificed because I didn't have the other release. I assume they did. So I will say that. Those who had the other releases can let me know in the comments. Oh, the neck joint, did I do that? It moves all the way around too, because it's on the neck joint at the bottom part and on the top part. So the neck joint moves and the head, the top part of the head moves, so you can get like a kind of seeing, and you can get it up like so. You can get it a little farther back. It's on like a double hinge ball peg. Then you can get it like this so it can look down past his body. I do like that. I just noticed that that extra. But back to the waist, nothing going on. Then we got friction up. Of course, he's not getting anything back. He's gonna get that much. He has ratchets out for no apparent reason. I don't know why. And they're super tight. He needed ratchets into his knees. But you can see, gets about that much. So almost the full splits. Well, it should be the full splits. I don't know what's going on with this over here. Maybe I just have this situated wrong. I don't know. But you can see these ratchets are not great and they work against you. Has thigh swivel that's super tight. Has these things back here that kind of bump into stuff. So you can't get the full swivel, but you can get the full swivel that way. Knees. Now knees are double jointed, but like I said, the bottom joint is so flimsy and there's no ratchets in either joint. But you can get a good range if you ain't hit the backpack. Oh, this falls out too all the time. I don't even know if I got it in there right. I think I do. Yeah, there we go. Move that tire a little bit. I was trying to see if you could get more because it hits that, but nah, you ain't getting no more. Knee pad kind of, does knee pad move? No, it does move like this. It's not a whole lot, but you can situate these knees how you need them. Feet. Now for the feet. Toe goes down and up somewhat. You have this in the front that moves around. It moves back. So you can put the toe down and then move that, and it kind of blocks the toe from moving because it's so tight. So it's a good use for standing. And you got the, sorry, I think that was out of focus. And you got a heel spur in the back that moves for transformation. And you can move the feet like this, but be careful. And you got the rocker. Now, this foot over here, I think, is super tight. And I've seen people break the foot, so be careful when using this rocker. And that's it. Transformation. Now, this transformation is frustrating. But it's weird because it's a lot frustrating and it doesn't feel good. And the modes you get to, I don't think the van is super successful. It's fine. And it looks like the van, but it's just so panely and stuff is just, it's hollow and I don't know. We'll get there. So let's just go try. Anyway, do a little bit of parts forming. So you take this off right here. It's gonna turn into the front of the van. Take this piece off. It's pegged up here and it's pegged on these two sides. Just pull that out. It's a satellite for the top of the van, and you gotta get this off out of here. You can stick something in there. That's what I did and pry that out. It's not too bad. Flip these down, flip these down. Pull these out. They're pegged together kind of, so you gotta move this one. It's an over under peg, so this one's pegged on. So you move that out. I guess you can get this, I don't know if you can get this stuff out now, but you just want to unfold these panels. So you're unfolding like that, you're unfolding down, unfolding out, unfolding this, and that folds up. And that's pretty much it for the panel. And these unfold that, unfold this and unfold right there, and that's basically that side. Do the same thing over here and do a little quicker and a little easier. Try not to try not to break anything. Some of these panels are tight, so that's where I've seen breakage. So now you come to the front, this right here, grab that, pull that out. It's a peg on both sides, and you're grabbing the gray piece, not this piece. I was trying to pull off this piece when I first did it. It's the gray piece behind it. Hopefully I don't. This side was tight. Try not to break my nail. What little nail I got. So you got that. Then you can pull this off of here like, oh, I'm holding where you gotta pull it off of and trying to pull it off. You're pulling it right here. So I'm still holding it. It's all of this. You gotta put your fingers here down below and then pull it off. This is part of it too. So I'm sitting there holding it like this, wondering why it's not coming off. Then you get that out of here and it starts to fall apart. You can pull these arms out all the way. These arms are beasts, so we're gonna get that together in a minute. Pull these arms out of here. Move these down. You gotta kind of move them around. Well, I think if they stay in the right position, that's how they're supposed to be. So you don't have to move them around that much. But they rarely stay in that position. And just pull these out. Now you're starting to see some of the van. Now it's tabbed in back here. So you want to kind of untab it. Let me show it right here. So you kind of untab it and pull this down. Pull it out like that. So you have this, where stuff starts to get tricky. Now there's a piece right here, right here, that pull that out, and you pull this out on that side, and now you got a fillet of turtle. And we're gonna try to get these arms. Now these arms are pretty tricky, so I'm gonna try to go slow. So they're gonna move this way. They have all these moving parts. You want to get it situated. You want to move this down, move this down. So then you get this situated, move this up, and you're going to move this. Again, hold all these parts while you're maneuvering this, because it's going to get weird. Now you move this like this, and you move this so the T. You want the T up. I moved it like this the first time I did it, and it's just, you know, it's just blank. It doesn't have that T joint. Like I said, you want to move it like that, and then you're moving this down. Then when you move it down, it has a right little space where this little gray piece kind of sits, and then you move this around and get this down here. You can kind of move it over because the head's going to have to sit in between. Then move this up here so the screws are out, and this like this, you just ball this up. And let me see, I think you move them down like that. I'm not sure. I'll see when we start to get everything more together. But that's pretty much it. Like that. Same thing here. I get turned around sometimes, so make sure you have the T. See, I don't have the T, so gotta move it around. And you can move this just any which way to get it out your way, which I do like. Move this down here. You see the T. Move that all the way down, and then you should have room for that little gray piece to sit in that little space. And then you move this up here, move it in, screws out, fist, I think like this. I don't know if it matters because it just sits in there really. So you have this thing. Move this together, and I guess you can clamp these. It says to put these together, but they often come out and do whatever they want. But then you flip, you're ready to flip this. So you're flipping this around, and his head is sitting like right there. And that's basically how you want that, because later stuff is going to peg in here, here, and oh wait, no, I don't have it far enough. Put the head up a little bit and peg this down. Make sure this is out the way so you can get it all the way, but don't move it all the way, because there's a peg here, peg there on both sides. So it's a little out, and then you can just peg this in. You might as well do it now. I don't think there's no harm in it. And there you go, just like that. And make sure this Leo thing is straight up and down. And you got it pretty much where you need it at, where you want it at. Like if it goes farther, you can see that this goes in. So we don't want that. So it should look like this. Now, it says to do this later, but I don't know if you should do it later. I'm going to do it right now. I've never done it right now, so we're going to see together. It's on a sliding joint right here, but it's a hard, one side is really hard, and I don't know if it will be on your copy, if you got a copy, but we're going to kind of pull it out. Well, maybe it's already out. You just got to pull it around. I would be careful. I want to mess with any paint, but then you got to move it in. I just saw some paint come off. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's right there. Not sure if you can see that, but yeah, some paint just got scraped off. Yay. But this goes outside of this, so make sure this is down. That's why I was wondering. So there's also a scratch on here and scratches right here on this gray piece. So I mean, I don't know if it's me. It could be me, but who knows? So pull that down. You can move this out like that. And then this piece actually sits out. I thought it was supposed to be flush, but it does sit out a little bit. And you can kind of see where you're going with it, and you want to peg this into this right here. Pegs that there, and you can see what I mean. This is why this gray piece got scratched up. No matter when you do it, it's gonna move, and you see what happened, right? It's like pinned up against there. Then this, you can go like that, and it's like a over under right here. Keeps it together a little bit, and that's how it goes. It like sits right here. Then you can peg this in. Same over here. I don't know if I can show it any better or not, but we'll try. Move this up. Move the gas can out. Move this like this. Now just move that out. And when you're actually moving this around, it doesn't scrape anything as long as you do it right. and slow. Then you could push this in. I think this is the one that's tight and I can't really push it in. Doesn't really go in for me. It's not really super important. I mean, it is, but it is, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Get it like that. Get this up here. Get these in there like this. And you can see all paint scratches. You gotta be really, really careful. I wasn't. I know I did it, but it's due to the figure. Peg that on. Push this up all the way. Push this up all the way. Should have it like that. So now we have some semblance of a van. Make sure this stuff is up and out. Move it like that because it's better for the piece. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. But I'm not domino. So you put this down here like this. And you want to turn these legs around. So try to get them a little closer. Then it's easier. Flip these legs like this. So here you go. Move these seats out. That's what they are. They're seats. You move this out up here. Move this. Flip this around. These windows are windows. These mirrors come out, but they will fall back in. And this is how you do that. And that's like that. And you're good. Golden. Now for the legs down here. So I will try to show this. These are supposed to be in here like this. They come out all the time. So there's a series of, and I think this is where people are breaking it. I always say, I'm always, I said my toxic trait is, I always think when stuff is broken, it's user error. But it's not always. But this is where this is tight. This circle right here is tight. So what you want to do is you want to move this down. Actually, you can pull this out first before moving anything. This blue part, and it's just pegged in on this side part. So it's going to go like that eventually. But then you can move this on this armature. Move it down because it's pegged in here. It kind of encompasses right there and keeps everything together. Then you can move this all out, flip this down, and keep it like that. Now this is on a slider, up and down. You want to slide the wheel up to the up position as far as you can go. It does stop like right before it's all the way up. You don't have to worry about that. Then this foot here. Like I said, these joints, this joint right here, I've seen people break. And this joint right here, because both of these screws are super tight. If they're super tight like that, unscrew them. That's all I'm gonna say. And I guess people are breaking it this way. I don't think you can unscrew it. You might be able to. No, I don't know. No, I don't think you can. It's a little flat right here, down. While you're moving this up. And you gotta move this down first and then move this up. It's hard, it's weird, but then you can get it together like that. Now what you want to do is turn this around all the way. Then you can move this up here. And it's on like a hinge. You want the hinge all the way up. This is a tight joint. So when you're trying to move it, it's scraping. You gotta kind of get it fixed in the right position and move the actual joint and not this piece. But it gets hard. There you go. And see, I scraped up all this paint right here because I wasn't moving it correctly. Then you can move this down. No, you move this up all the way into that little space right there. That's going to start to form the front of the car. Same thing over here. I'm gonna try a little better over this area. So you want to move this up, move this down to get it together like that. I just did that first. You want to move this out, the blue piece. It's tabbed in the back of this. Oh, it's not tabbed in no more. It's just stuck. Move that out. Push that back up. You ain't got to worry about it really right now. Then you can move this out. Now this is really tight on mine, but you just move it out enough to get it away from that peg. And you move this out. And you move it up as far as possible. It doesn't move that far. Then you can spin this around. Flip this up here. And then now you want to move this up. Again, move it on the joint like that. And I did it perfectly, and there's no paint scrape. Paint scrape on here. No paint scrape on here. Of course. You want to get this situated. You kind of move this in here like this with the knee pad. Move this up, and the knee pad kind of sits like that. Again, move this up so the knee pad kind of sits like that. And then you can start to put this stuff all together. You want to bring in the back plate. This part is up top. Always put this side in. I don't know, it may vary, but this side was hardest, so I try to get this side in first. I think the peg's too big for the hole. Oh, it went in a little better that time. And then this side, there's a peg down here that goes in there. And of course there's a peg hole you can't really see, but you see the peg right there. Move that together. Again, this peg. There we go. It's kind of difficult. Starting to form. Now you kind of move this up here. You move both the legs. You could have did it sooner, but I mean, move the legs until they're kind of flat. Now you can see all of this. You want to get all of this situated. All these pegs right here. There's a peg right here. That peg's underneath there. I kind of do that just so I can get my bearings. Then you get all of this situated. This peg is under here for some reason. I don't know why it shouldn't be. I didn't like that, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Over here is fine. And there's like a peg. There's pegs up here. They're not really pegs either. They're like spaces that pegs sit. So that's another thing. And I don't know if there's a reason for that. And try to get all this together. And get this up here together. And over here. What did I do? Oh, I think I don't have the legs down enough. Gotta move this up. Move this down. And you should be good. I did do these legs right. It's the opposite. Like you gotta push it back all the way on that hinge, and then I think then this moves up. Does it move up? I don't know if that moves up or not. But then you can get all this in, and this is pegged in on the side here. I kind of like to peg that in because it kind of keeps it, but it doesn't, but it does. but it gives you a frame of reference. That's where I went wrong at. I'm just now, I had to check the directions. My bad. But this thing, if you do it, you'll forgive me. So, just to say that. So yeah, I had the legs a little bit off. The two armatures have to be pushed in. You probably should do that earlier, but what you gonna do? And then you see it getting there. It's getting where I need it. Still not great, but this peg's here. Man, there we go. Then this peg's here as well. You can kind of get that together, peg that in there, and home stretch finally, kind of, sort of, in a way. Just know it's gonna fall apart to the very end. And this right here don't feel good because it feels like you could definitely break these tabs off. And you know what else I didn't do? For one, I gotta redo this. Also back here, pull this down. I mean, this keeps this together, but it's not a big deal. It kind of solidifies the back a little better, but not that much better. Like this side is in all the way. This side doesn't go in because I couldn't get it to go in. Then you put this out here like that. This is the door. And you gotta have the, like I said, you gotta have the legs exactly right. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? But at the same time, it's hard to get exactly right. That's what I mean when I say that. Why is this up? See? And this is up, this is up, this is up here. I'm pretty much done fooling with this. I hope it helped a little bit. Oh, okay. Then you want to do spoiler, which is easy to figure out. Do this up here like that. It is stiff the first time you do it, so be careful. Then you bring this in a little bit. Then you can stick this right here. If the peg doesn't move, stick this right here. Then you got this. This came out, of course. And here we go with the van. We got the turtle van. And doesn't really roll. The knees hit probably due to me. A lot of user error. I hope I helped a little bit. You guys are probably, whoever's using this for transformation, I'm sorry, but you could probably get it a little better if you take some more time. It's a little difficult. But then you can bring in all the guns and stuff and all the other accessories. And the stuff that's falling is, I think you can either put it this way or the other way. I like it this way. Then you can kind of clamp this on so it stays on. Put it on the other side. It's a little thing right here that you move up. Kind of Get that in there like that. It stays tight too. It's pretty tight, so that's cool. You got these little things on the side. You can add the stars if they don't fall off. Add the stars there. I don't feel like finding that other one. Then you have this spot over here. You move this clip and you can add this, and you can move it whichever way you want to get it straight. Let's put Leo. You can also put Leo in the driver's seat. You can put his swords in the back if you want. He can sit in there with his swords on. When he's driving the mech, I don't think he can have his swords on. It's hard if he does. And there's even like a dashboard kind of. There we go. Put him in there like that. Put his back. And put it back. So all armored up with Leo driving. You can see the turtle van. This has been a long journey. And you see it still's not 100% correct, but I don't know what I did down here. Last time the wheels were a little bit closer to being on the ground, but even the wheels in the back aren't the greatest. Again, it's probably because I don't have it exactly correct. In the back, you see you have the little trap door where Leo can get out. It says Leo in the back. It looks like shocks and stuff back here. I do like that. That's just not, because it's just the outside flip the inside out. But all right, so if you enjoyed, even got the QC sticker up there. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me everything. This was a tough one. All right, I'll get up with y'all in the next one.
You know, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want it.